You have a testimony.
Why the
tell your life.
Get in on this.
I witnessed it.
He finna be in here and
Why
tell
the
her
fuck I got an EBT card? And this is at Breezy Bowl and made 90 whatever the million, and it say KKKKK Mac. Can I get 25,000 for them four songs I owe you, bro? I just want to leave, bro.
Leading up to who he is.
I'm not even tripping though. I got an EBT card, my nigga. Like what the, bro? I can't even get nothing, bro.
Kevin McCall's viral meltdown just reignited one of R&B's most infamous rivalries, the long, bitter tension between him and Chris Brown. But before things could even cool off, Young Thug decided to insert himself right into the chaos, confronting Chris face-to-face. What started as a calm conversation turned into a full-on standoff, and when that leaked footage dropped, the internet couldn't believe how intense it got. October 20th. 2025 became one of those dates the music world won't ever forget. That same day, Kevin McCall, now 40 years old, sat down for what was supposed to be a chill podcast interview on Back on Fig. But nobody was ready for what actually went down. Over nearly 3 emotional hours, Kevin peeled back every layer of pain, regret, and raw truth from one of R&B's most dramatic feuds. About 45 minutes in, just as the hosts were gassing up his genius, something inside him snapped. Out of nowhere, he pulled out his EBT card and dropped it on the table like a confession. Right there, live on camera, Kevin broke down completely. Tears, pain, and honesty pouring out in front of millions. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't polished. It was heartbreak in real time. The clip went viral instantly, leaving everyone speechless. Some felt sympathy. Others were shocked. But nobody could look away. This was a man who once wrote and produced chart-topping hits, who helped shape the sound of an entire era, and now he was bearing his soul about barely surviving. He didn't sugarcoat anything.
Actually, basically on a text message saying word. That's all they saying. Like, it's one dude saying, yo, do this, and one dude is saying word. What do you feel about that?
I mean, I can't speak on my brothers in them cases and
right.
what they going on. I can only be who I always been, their brother. You know, I'm a rock with them for life. It's us never.
Kevin admitted he was behind on his $2,000 a month child support for his daughter Marley with his ex, Eva Marcel. Hearing him speak that openly about his financial struggles hit people hard, because this wasn't some random artist. This was a Grammy-level talent, someone who helped make millions for others, now fighting just to keep the lights on. It was raw, painful, and deeply human, the kind of moment that forces everyone watching to question what fame really costs. Would you like me to make the next part even more dramatic and commentary-driven, like adding the narrator's emotional reaction and viral-style pacing, or keep it in this clean rewrite style that mirrors a competitor's tone exactly? Kevin's voice cracked as he revealed something nobody was ready to hear. He hadn't seen his kids in over 10 years. The pain was written all over his face. Through real tears and raw honesty, Kevin made a desperate plea directly to Chris Brown, saying, "Bro, give me the $25,000 you owe me for those 4 tracks." He claimed those unpaid royalties weren't just pocket change. They could total nearly $3 million. According to Kevin, his old CBE deal was invalid, and he'd been cheated out of what he rightfully owned. The contrast was brutal. While Chris Brown was packing out arenas on his Breezy Bowl 20 tour, raking in $90 to $100 million performing songs Kevin helped write, Kevin said he was quietly trying to survive, even shopping at odd hours just to avoid being recognized in that painful situation. That clip spread like wildfire. No exaggeration. Within hours, it was everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. One repost by My Mixtape alone hit over 9 million views, and the internet couldn't stop talking. The reaction was split right down the middle. Half the audience saw Kevin as a man broken by an unforgiving industry, a living reminder of how fast a game can turn cold. But others weren't so sympathetic, saying Kevin's downfall was a result of his own bad choices and burned bridges. The debate turned heated. Fans, critics, even celebrities started weighing in nonstop. And just when the drama couldn't get any more chaotic, something unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, Young Thug, newly free and ready to move differently, entered the chat with a massive gesture that stunned everyone. On October 21st, 2025, just one day after Kevin's emotional podcast moment broke the internet, Thug tweeted, "Kevin McCall, hit me bro." I'll give you the $25,000 you need. And I know CB would too. He's just busy sometimes. Nobody saw that coming. Thug wasn't chasing clout or trying to look good. He was genuinely stepping up to help. Not only did he publicly offer to cover the $25,000 Kevin said he was owed, but he did it in front of millions, putting both Kevin and Chris in a spotlight where everyone could see their next move. It was rare, a genuine moment of compassion in a culture addicted to beef and chaos. Fans immediately noticed the difference. Young Thug wasn't taking sides. He was walking a tight line, defending his brother Chris Brown while still showing love to Kevin McCall. That kind of balance? You almost never see that in this game. To really understand why that moment hit so hard, you got to know the bond between Thug and Chris. Their connection goes deep, built on loyalty, trust, and pure music chemistry. Back in 2020, during the pandemic lockdowns, they linked up for their Slime and B mixtape, a 13-track masterpiece that had fans going crazy. The lead single, Go Crazy, did exactly that, hitting number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and going 4 times platinum. But beyond the hits, it was their loyalty that stood out. When Thug got locked up in May 2022 on RICO charges and spent over 2 years fighting for his freedom, Chris never switched up. He kept shouting, "Free YSL," showed love in interviews, and stood by Thug when everyone else went quiet. So when young Thug stepped up for Kevin McCall, it wasn't betrayal, it was growth. He wasn't choosing sides. He was trying to bring peace in a game where most would have poured gasoline on the fire. Thug was doing something rare in today's music world, trying to bring peace to a messy situation instead of fueling the fire. He stepped into the role of a real mediator, showing empathy toward a man clearly fighting his own battles while still standing firm for his friend's name. That's what genuine leadership looks like. When Thug tweeted, "CB would give it to you too, bro. Is just busy sometimes," it showed perfect balance. No shade, no drama, just understanding. Kevin quickly replied with gratitude, saying, "What's up, bro? I'm just seeing this. About to DM you now." For a brief moment, it felt like maybe this long-standing tension could finally cool off. Fresh out of federal custody and focus on redemption, Thug had already shown he was serious about change. Just a few months earlier, in August 2025, he'd hosted a massive charity event in Atlanta for local kids, a powerful move that proved his heart was in the right place. So when he reached out to Kevin, it didn't feel like PR. It felt real, like he was genuinely trying to stop another downfall before it happened. But then, just when things looked peaceful, Chris Brown came in with a completely different energy. On October 22nd, 2025, Chris hopped on Instagram stories and dropped a message that instantly lit up the internet. "Remember this. You can't walk across a burnt bridge. And you know what's funnier than a troll? A broke one." That post hit like a bomb. Cold, dismissive, and loud enough to make sure everyone heard it. There was no room for confusion, no reunion, no forgiveness, no payout. The bridge between Chris and Kevin wasn't just burned. It was ashes. Social media exploded instantly. Fans took sides, and within hours, the debate was everywhere. About 70% of public opinion swung in Chris's favor. Comment sections, blogs, and fan pages were all backing him, pointing out that Kevin McCall had previously made serious threats toward Chris and even his daughter, Royalty. People said Chris had already shown grace in the past, but Kevin kept blowing his chances. One viral tweet summed it up. "Before anyone says Chris Brown is being mean, context, Kevin McCall once threatened him and his daughter." That single post went crazy. Thousands of likes, retweets, and shares. But not everyone agreed with the crowd. Some felt Chris went way too far, saying his response lacked compassion for a man clearly spiraling emotionally. They reminded people that Kevin helped Chris build his early sound. He was there during the come-up, crafting hits that shaped the foundation of Chris's career. Publicly mocking his financial struggles felt cruel to some fans, who believed showing empathy would have been a stronger move than throwing shade. Even a few insiders chimed in, saying this was a classic industry pattern. Songwriters and producers struggle while the main artists keep stacking millions. They argued that regardless of Kevin's messy behavior or poor decisions, if he was owed money, he deserved to be paid, plain and simple. But to really understand how this feud spiraled to tears, posts, and public humiliation, you have to rewind the clock to where it all began, back when Chris and Kevin were just two hungry young talents chasing success together. It all started on March 9, 2016, when Kevin broke his silence and tweeted directly at Chris, "We need to sit down and handle this business." That one message was a spark that lit a feud years in the making. Kevin's next move was even bolder. He posted publicly, saying, "I tried the adult business route. I feel my kindness is being taken for weakness." That was a clear warning, a public line in the sand. Kevin wasn't looking for drama. He wanted accountability. He wanted his work recognized and his royalties paid. But the very next day, March 10, 2016, Chris fired back with an emotional Instagram post that left no room for doubt. It was passionate, angry, and brutally honest, the kind of message that slams the door shut for good. Chris accused Kevin of being ungrateful, spreading negativity, and trying to drag him down. From that moment, everyone knew this wasn't just business anymore. This was personal. The post spread like wildfire across every gossip page, with thousands of fans debating who crossed the line and who kept it real. Meanwhile, Kevin tried to keep his cool. Instead of firing back with more shade, he jumped on Snapchat and wrote, "I'm Chris Brown's #1 fan." The internet couldn't even tell if he was being sarcastic or serious. It felt like both. Here was a man who once admired Chris, who looked up to him as a mentor, now facing public humiliation from someone he used to call family. That mix of respect, betrayal, and pain set the tone for everything that would come next. From that moment on, the beef wasn't just about business. It was personal. The bond they once had completely broke down. Kevin had once called Chris his little brother. But by 2016, that love had turned into pure tension. One moment Kevin demanded release from his contract. The next he praised Chris's talent. It was chaotic, a loop of love, anger, and regret that played out in real time for the world to see. Then came June 2016, when Kevin dropped his diss track Barukai, a jab at Chris's ex Kara Reach. He later admitted he only did it to get under Chris's skin. Petty, emotional, and deeply personal. Proof of how far their friendship had fallen. Things spiraled even further on December 11th, 2017, when Kevin posted a video challenging Chris to a one-on-one fight. He accused him of being fake, questioning his image and his toughness. Fans were stunned. But what really broke the internet was what came next. Kevin grabbed his platinum plaque for Juices, the very song that changed both their lives, and smashed it to pieces on camera. He looked straight into the lens and said, "Juices to my past." That single act said everything. The brotherhood was dead. The caption underneath was bitter, final, the end of an era. Chris didn't even respond with a paragraph. Just two emojis, one blank face, one laughing. Cold, dismissive, and sharper than any statement. It screamed, "You're not even worth my energy." But then things went way too far. On January 6, 2018, Kevin tweeted a series of disturbing messages that shocked everyone following their feud. In those posts, he made alarming threats involving Chris and his family, crossing a line that nobody could defend. Even his longtime supporters backed away immediately. The backlash was brutal. Blogs, fans, and industry insiders all condemned his words. One viral comment summed up the mood perfectly. No matter how bad things get, you never bring someone's child into it. And just like that, the door to reconciliation slammed shut. From that day forward, Kevin's words erased any hope of repairing what was left. In hip-hop, and in life, some lines are untouchable, and dragging someone's kid into the mix is one of them. Kevin tried to backpedal later, claiming people misunderstood him and that his words were symbolic. He even said he loved Chris and his daughter, but it was too late. The damage was permanent. All the sympathy he'd built, all the valid conversations about unpaid royalties, gone in seconds. Those posts overshadowed everything, giving Chris every reason to walk away for good. By 2019, Kevin made things even worse. He went on another rant, this time targeting Chris's fans with cruel remarks. It shocked everyone, confirming what people feared. His behavior had spiraled beyond control. What could have been a redemption arc turned into a self-inflicted downfall. Through it all, Chris stayed silent. No interviews, no online drama, just quiet distance. He didn't have to say much. Kevin's chaos was speaking volumes for him. But in a resurfaced 2020 video, Chris finally addressed it indirectly. Calm, collected, and cutting. He said, if he wrote all those songs he claims he did, why ain't writing hits now? It was cold, but real, and it hit hard because the truth was right there in the numbers. While Chris's career kept soaring, platinum albums, sold-out tours, global fame, Kevin's momentum collapsed. His 2017 project Man of God barely made a ripple, and his net worth, once full of potential, had nearly vanished. It was a perfect contrast between two artists who started as brothers and ended up as rivals. But to really understand how it got this dark, you have to rewind the tape, back to where the story began. The rise and fall of a brotherhood that started with one young dreamer from Watts, Los Angeles, who took a chance that would change his life forever. Difference quickly turned into a power struggle. Kevin didn't like being told what to do, especially by someone he viewed as an equal. But Chris saw it differently. In his mind, Kevin was part of his team, his label, his brand, which meant every move reflected on him too. That clash of perspectives created a silent tension that spilled into their personal relationship. What once felt like brotherhood started feeling like control. Kevin began to sense that Chris didn't want him to grow beyond CB, and that realization cut deep. The same man who once believed in him now seemed to be holding him back. Things got even worse when Kevin pushed back. He started publicly hinting that he wasn't getting paid properly for the songs he helped write. That's when the business side got ugly. The label paperwork was messy, the credits were confusing, and suddenly Kevin found himself shut out of sessions he once ran. He began tweeting cryptic messages about fake love and being used, while fans noticed that Chris had quietly stopped promoting Kevin's music. Behind the scenes, their brotherly bond was breaking apart, piece by piece. Then came the boiling point. In 2015, Kevin accused Chris of not paying him royalties for their biggest hits, including Juices and Strip. He claimed he was owed hundreds of thousands and demanded to be released from CBE entirely. But Chris wasn't budging. He reportedly told people Kevin was being ungrateful, saying he'd given him opportunities most artists would kill for. From that moment, the friendship was done. What started as two brothers chasing a dream had officially turned into a full-blown business war. Kevin began lashing out online, posting about loyalty and betrayal while Chris's camp stayed silent. Fans picked sides, and the media loved every second of it. But beneath the public drama was something deeper: pain, resentment, and the feeling of being replaced by someone you helped build. Kevin wasn't just fighting for money. He was fighting for respect, recognition, and the right to control his own name. And in that fight, he'd end up losing everything: his friend, his label, and his reputation. It's crazy when you think about it. A friendship born out of faith and music ended in lawsuits, diss tracks, and online chaos. What was once a brotherhood built on shared dreams turned into a cold war that defined both their careers. And when Kevin finally broke that Juices plaque on camera, it wasn't just about ending a partnership. It was him symbolically destroying the past, even if it meant destroying himself in the process. That disagreement quickly turned personal. Kevin claimed that during that heated phone call, Chris threatened to block his progress in the industry, a move that cut deep. Coming from Watts, Kevin lived by a strict code of respect, and feeling control like that crossed a line he couldn't accept. That call became the real breaking point, the exact moment their brotherhood shifted from partnership to power struggle. From that day on, nothing was the same between them. Kevin later said it wasn't just Chris, but the people around him, managers, label representatives, and insiders, who quietly sabotaged his solo moves, shutting down opportunities before they could take off. And even though Juices went global, racking up hundreds of millions of streams and a Grammy nod, Kevin claimed he never saw the royalties he deserved. He said he was young, eager, and too trusting when he signed those early deals under CB. Over time, he realized he was trapped, locked into contract that gave him little control and left him out of credits on songs he helped create, like Look at Me Now. Whether it was Bad Business or Bad Blood, Kevin took it as betrayal, the feeling of being erased by someone he once called family. What started as a story of loyalty, trust, and shared dreams ended in pain, silence, and shattered respect. It's a cautionary tale about how fast the music industry can turn brotherhood into business, and business into bitterness. If you want more deep dives into stories like this, where fame, ego, and loyalty collide, make sure to subscribe, like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comment below.